Who's that?
That's Pete.
Does Pete really need to be here?
Yes, he does.
Today, I am going to be your Pete. Pete is based on the real-life Paul DePodesta. Paul is the genius that came up with a Moneyball system that helped Billy Beane, the general manager or once general manager of the Oakland A's, go from a very below par and actually crappy team into a record-breaking game-winning machine. Basically, the idea of Moneyball is extremely simple. With advanced statistical analysis, you invest in the players that bring you the most wins. And they bring you the most wins because they score you the most points, runs, whatever is the winning metric in your game. And in this video, I want to uncover the exact pathways you can use the Moneyball systems to take your young brand that's striving to make the best content possible into a competitive attention-acquiring empire. In another sense, you should be receiving feedback along the lines of this channel is so underrated, or this channel deserves 100,000 subscribers or 1 million subscribers or whatever. So the consensus should be that your content is extremely high quality and extremely high value. The only thing remaining for you to do is to put the content out and hope the algorithm picks it up. Moneyball the book and then Moneyball the movie actually came out way earlier than I made my transition from a sales guy at a media and marketing agency to a creative director. But the book and the movie theory actually helped me embody how I would work with my very first clients as a creative director, as well as how I would go about acquiring clients and how I would set up teams that would then further work for those partners and, once again, clients. So let's talk about how you can use Moneyball to your advantage. First, let's analyze the league you are in and the competition you have to face. Secondly, define what team you're going to put out, define your winning resources. And then thirdly, how to take those resources and that team to bring you the best of both worlds and acquire your content-related wins.
Different.
More. Basically what it says.
And hi, channel. You can call it despite it.
What you just saw is actually my competition, and that is the league I have decided to play in. Before we go any further, it is important to understand that Daniel nor Iman are actually my opposition, and I do not hope to take their viewership or that their viewership falls. In fact, we're all quite supportive of each other and uplifting.
The gentleman called Gosha Dulgan, I hope I'm not butchering your name by the way, and he started making content of things he was interested in, such as personal branding and entrepreneurship, and in just 7 months, he already has 6,000 subscribers on YouTube. By the way, it took me, I think, 2 years to hit 6,000?
But it is extremely key that you define who you're battling with every single day in what we would call the attention economy. If people aren't watching your videos, whose videos are they watching? The second layer is defining your league's top teams. Who are the top sides? What makes them those top sides? And why I mention teams is because no creator can compete at the very tippity top without actually having people on the back end. Of course, there are outliers, but those are very, very rare. It is within the understanding of those top sides, those top teams, is where we get our first signals for both our brand and our content, how to operate and what the minimal standards are. You line up your scripts, you line up your visuals, your gear, your standards, whatever it is that you want to call it, and you say, am I competitive enough? Do I have the minimal requirements to compete in the so-called league? And will I ever be successful with what I have at this current moment? Sometimes it can be as simple as an old crappy iPhone camera that you need to replace for a better one like an Osmo Pocket 3 or a Sony FX30, and sometimes maybe you need to recruit an editor, whether that be a senior editor, an animator, or maybe just a junior editor will be enough. To give you that example, I will provide you the current list that I use to build my standards for growing my channel. Alright, let's get intimate here as I will be reading off my list of all the things that matter to me when growing my channel from the start. I knew, first of all, that I needed a better camera than an iPhone. I wanted to leave no questions about the visuals. I wanted to stand out ahead of all the people that were making videos and making content with an iPhone camera. I wanted that slight edge, and I wanted to propel myself at least into somewhat of the top percent right away. And the second thing was as much about the process as it was about the results. I hired a great video editor and filmmaker so that I can focus on the script, so that I can focus on the ideation, and we can mix and synergize our ideas into the final piece. And with this microphone and my other gear, I knew I needed A-level audio. I wanted people to be able to watch these videos but also enjoy them via audio or a combination of both. So with very, very little investment, I primed the audience, I primed my content to be able to compete with the league. But okay, in hindsight, it all seems very, very simple. You hire a great team, you get all the best gear, and you're on your road to success. False. So let's actually talk about how to maximize those investments without breaking the bank. I spend on average $2,500 a month on everything to ship my videos from the start to the end. That doesn't account for the startup costs on the audio, the cameras, and it also doesn't include my time when it comes to scripting and ideation, or obviously communicating with certain guests we might have on the channel. I also work with entrepreneurs who spend anywhere from $5,000 a month to $20,000 a month. And in the $5,000 range, it might be multiple editors, a few thumbnail designers, and on the $20,000 range, it'll usually be multiple videographers, various options for thumbnail designers, and I'm sure you know which content creators I'm talking about. As I've helped these entrepreneurs scale their results without scaling their costs, I noticed a very, very similar pattern. The road to profitable content and profitable content at whatever stage you are doesn't actually take that much upfront investment.
It's not that hard, Scott. Tell him, Wash.
It's incredibly hard.
If we take YouTube as our platform of choice, and for myself, the niche of content creators and entrepreneurs, we can pick out two stats that matter the most in this so-called Moneyball system. That is CTR and AVD, also known as click-through rate and average view duration, or average view duration percentage. One signals that people are getting to your video, and the other signals that people are interested in your video and are watching for longer times. Then there's two more stats that I think are genuinely so important. The first one is subscription rate on every single video, and the second one is comment rate, how often people are commenting. Since in the entrepreneurial niche, entrepreneurs are usually very open to sharing what they think and what their genuine thoughts are, you can use the comments and have a call to action for people to comment to see if you are providing enough value from video to video. Going back to our key stats, to aim and shoot for high CTR, you need a strong designer who's aware of YouTube's gimmicks and the idea of the algorithm and how that plays into his or her ideation of the final thumbnail. In my own case, I pay a premium for a designer who works at my company and who can work on the thumbnails and refine the already trending ideas above what other competitors are doing. So again, you might take an idea that's worked for someone and he'll do it even better just because he's a higher skilled designer. The difference between a good thumbnail in one video being at 5% CTR and in that same video, the thumbnail leading to 8 or 10% CTR can be 10K views or 1 million views. Who knows? So yeah, I'd rather invest in a really strong thumbnail designer than a studio camera or a studio or any other form of setup. My next area of focus is AVD, average view duration. And since the AVD isn't entirely related only to the editor, that's where we have a key factor that is related to the other stats and the other position of the writer. And that's where we pair the subscriber rate and the feedback into this equation. This channel gets a ton of praise for great editing, and all credit to our team on that, but probably 70% of that is focused on the actual execution and the idea of the edit, and maybe 30% of the edit ideas are written by me in the original script. Now, if the feedback on the edit is great, but the AVD is average or going down, then I can assume that, okay, my thumbnail is great, my editing is great, maybe it's the writing and the hooks and what I'm talking about that isn't up to par. So I have to invest in that and I have to work on it. Winning can look like a Stripe notification, or it can look like an impressive YouTube channel dashboard. One is mine, the other is not. To get to the right investments, you have to understand what is the essence of winning for you. To me, winning is getting on the same page with other creators and other entrepreneurs about what their content should look like and what their processes should look like as well. These videos have helped me get in contact and establish relationships with entrepreneurs who are building their content systems, their brands, as well as sourcing the right resources to create that content. However, if I started minimizing my focus, what I'm talking about currently, and started focusing more on the mainstream topics, yes, I might get more subscribers, I might get more viewership, but I would be putting wins in the wrong column. Even if the final goal is to grow the business and earn more money, you can still earn more and maybe an equal amount at 10,000 subscribers as well as you could at 100,000 subscribers. It just depends about the audience you're talking to. Obviously, if you stay loyal to your formula, 100,000 subscribers always outweighs less quantity. But that's only if you stay true to what your wins are. Winning with content is certainly not limited to the ultra large creators in terms of following. You could even win with one posted video if that video goes and reaches the creators and the entrepreneurs you are talking to. Sometimes with one video, you can go and fight the giants.
It's an unfair game. We got to think differently. We are the last dog at the bowl.
Hey, it's true, I do exist. You probably don't know me yet, but I'm Victor. I'm part of Gosha's Moneyball content machine, and I'm the editor responsible for all the sick edits you've been seeing week after week. The way I met Gosha is actually a really funny story. We met through Daniel Dalen's school community, but that's a story for another video. It really has been a pleasure crafting these videos for you guys, putting the effort into all the stats we talked about in this video, upgrading CTR, upgrading AVG, and all the other ones. So I really suggest you to do the same. But if you're feeling stuck, I recommend you go check out this video from us, where we talk about the concept of taste and how you can develop your taste. And with that, obviously, have better references to make better videos. That's it for now. We really appreciate the support you've been giving to this channel. And it's crazy how at the end of last year, we were at 5K subscribers and we're almost already at 10K. Remember to subscribe, like, and leave a comment on whatever you think it's gonna take us to the next level of this YouTube game. And as always, catch you next week. Bye-bye.
Hopefully that was a good intro. It sort of picked up at the end there, I feel like. I only have 16%, so let's roll into this.